you. Yeah, yo. There whenever it matters, and even more when you feel like it doesn't. Protect you so you never feel like you wasn't. Know I'm right alongside you. Either that or I'm behind you, but always got you. End of discussion, nothing means more. First one to offer is shoulders for what you reach for. Thought I saw the eyes of the world until I seen yours. And know that I ain't see a better view yet. I'm with whatever, so don't ever you fret. Know that you covered, not a hurdle or a heartbreak. A change what a partake, cause none of them won't ever get comfortable in your walkway. My job is to aware you, fully loaded, prepare you for all of the above that I'm never letting get near you. But still in all, give you every advantage I found. Couldn't find a better fit for them, along with my crown. And since the baton was passed, I've been down. Cause failing's not an option, and dad is not a noun, not at all.
Welcome to another episode of Dad is Not a Noun. My name is Ishmael, changing the narrative for men of color fatherhood, as well as changing the narrative on the things I care about. And today I have a special guest with me. She was back on a previous episode. And the reason why I have her on, because she did a phenomenal job with a documentary called Black Girls. And my favorite saying is that all Black existence are interdependent. And what she did with this film is connect these phenomenal Black women together. Their stories are different, but connected together under the theme, Never Whisper Justice. And she's with me today. She is a photographer, a poet, a writer, a director, world traveler. She does everything, and she's with me today. B.Monet, thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me. You give the best introductions.
I do what I can because you're good people, and I got to do what I got to do. I'm going to ask the first question. My first question is always, how's your heart?
How is my heart? She's expanding. She's expanding, but she's going through a lot right now, a lot of rebirth and transformation. So, she's just taken in a lot of grief, but then also like moments of joy and I don't know. Like it's like a roller coaster, but yeah, she's expanding. I'll keep it short with that.
And I like that word expanding because I want to congratulate you on so many successes right now. Number one, the partnership with Xifinity, that's phenomenal. Two, to be considered a nominee for Best Director for the documentary for the Academy Awards. Congratulations for that. And on top of that, your film will be at the Sundance Film Festival in January. So congratulations. So just talk about, you talk about expanding and joy. Just talk about that feeling of joy in this era where we're kind of disbanding DEI.
Yeah, I think it's a moment of hope for us all, I hope, right? Where it's not just a moment for me, but all the people who've been a part of my journey for so long. And, I carry my ancestors, I carry the people that I know here in New York and LA, all the people that I've met over the years, the supporters, folks from church, folks from prisons, folks from, the community, as sometimes people say. I carry us all with us, and I hope that I know it's like a very dark time and people feel really hurt and devastated by politics and what's happening, and it's soon, going to be a Trump's America. I think, if anything, my accolades and accomplishments, I hope gives people an opportunity to be like, oh man, if she can do it, then I can do it too, whatever, the person's thing is, because we need hope more than ever. But I try to like live in a positive place, and maybe it's like different than where other people do. Like I'm really careful on how much news I'm intaking into my system, and try to meditate, pray, do lots of things just to kind of like calibrate myself. Because if not, I think if you're listening constantly to what is happening, it can really make you feel like there is no hope and it is so dark. So I think it's just important for us to be intentional about what we're also consuming as people too.
And then, like, let's get into the documentary Black Girls. I think it's important that if you're a girl dad or if you're a mentor of girls, that you need to have them watch this film. Like, just talk about that from your perspective. Why is it important for them to watch this film?
Well, yeah, just like what you said. I mean, no matter if you are a Black woman, a Black girl, or one, please support the film. I feel like even if you don't present in that way, you learn from 6 different women and girls, just like the things that they've gone through, the adversities that they've experienced, and how they've overcome those things. And so for me and with the team, it was very important and instrumental to not just show the devastation around their realities or their identities, but the fact that they still all rose above those things that were challenging to them. And I think right now, Black women are holding on to that. I hope so. And even if you aren't a Black woman, I hope that you can find a way to just be resilient and persevere, and especially if you're Black, right? Like whether you're man, woman, or non-binary, I think it's really important to rest assured in the fact that our ancestors have gone through so much, and we are carrying them with us in our DNA. And so we still have power to go through tremendous odds and come out on the other side. So I try to live in that place.
Definitely. So what I want to do is I want to play the 4 minute and 5 trailer of it, just to give
Okay.
people a little taste of what to expect when they watch it, because they definitely need to watch it.
Okay. Sounds good.
As a Black woman, trauma is not our resting place. We do not have to stay down. We need to dismantle doing it all and calling it love.
I was told that I could be granted time, but they would not tie it to pregnancy. And to me, that just wasn't okay.
There are a lot of young girls that haven't developed the resilience yet. And I thought, oh, hell no. This poem is about joy. It's not about water remnants, evaporation, or sand, or thirst, or dry fruit, or hinges, or being hung. Today, a Black woman could smoke a cigarette, could laugh. This poem is about joy, how we remember it in us, always.
Powerful, 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 powerful. Just talk about, like, I know how you're a big fan of like poetry. Like when I don't want to give everybody like they need to watch it, but like your love for poetry, and I love how you implement poetry and a lot of stuff you do. Just talk about the beauty of poetry and imagery going hand in hand together. Oh, you're muted. You're muted. Muted.
Oh yeah, thank you. I forgot. I was like, oh yeah, I did mute myself. Anyways, my bad. I was just saying that I really just appreciate always like your attention to detail, and the fact that you always like notice the things that I feel like other interviewers, documentarians don't always like notice, but I appreciate that. I've never gotten anyone to ask me that question during, this like run for Black girls. But yes, so poetry, I've stopped writing poetry, but I would like to get back to it. But when I was younger, especially when I was a teenager, I would write poetry all the time. I've always um free written, like just like in my journal and stuff like that. But poetry is just like for me, it's a way to like bleed in public, and it's a way to kind of like get some stuff out in a very tasteful, short, succinct way. And so I think that poetry for me, it's still a way to like with rhythm show some stuff, you know what I mean, to create that synergy and a cerebral feeling. And I think matched with beautiful visuals, you know, I think that those two things in tandem create like a really beautiful like creative juice and like sauce. And in the film you see like, you know, different poets um you know, speaking about different things, and they're almost serving as interludes. I almost wanted it to feel like commercial breaks from each section. And so yeah, that was really important to me that we we found those poets, and they're all Black women. And yeah, it's beautiful, you know what I mean, how Black women are at the thread like constantly, even in the interludes. They're kind of like helping you to get to the next chapter, you know, and kind of like, because you might have learned some like heavy stuff, and then the next chapter you're like, again, a roller coaster, which is to me um the best type of art that makes you feel, art that makes you um emote and want to change some things or make you reflect on some things. So it's really important to me that poetry be also in the fabric of the film. So thank you for noticing all the little details always.
No problem, no problem. That's what I do. But also, what I love too is the tone. Like when you hear a poet recite, their tone changes. And when their tone changes, that visual match that. So, how were you able to like match the tone of a poet with the visualization?
Well, it wasn't always like, it didn't always work, but it depends. Like, also, I mean, I have really great editors, you know, who also give feedback. And gave their input at times, but I think what was also really important is to leave the chapter not feeling devastated. And that was just really important to me. So trying to research and find different poets who could kind of still, even if it was something that we previously just learned from someone's chapter that was heavy, trying to find joy. Like joy is something that's really important to me, especially, you know, to me, this film is like an ode to Black women and girls who feel forgotten about. And so, even though they may not make a big presence in the film in terms of being there visually, you hear their voices. And so, even in the fabric of the film, you're still hearing that sensory. You're still hearing Black women, and it's giving the film hopefully a different texture, you know, and by us having poets, you know, it continues to add to Black women and girls not being monolithic. We don't come in the same shape, size, color, experiences. We're not all from the same places. So I think the poetry and the interludes continues to add to the diversity of Black women. And I learned that truly by going to Spelman College in Atlanta, Georgia, where I learned that, yeah, we might all be Black outside of a few stragglers who were there, but mostly, you know, we were all Black, and it was just a really fly on the wall experience of just the beauty that is Black. It was like the best uh utopia dystopia, you know what I mean, in the sense of just showing that, you know, we are worthwhile, we are worth it. And I think Spelman is really instrumental in my work that I still try to do today.
Definitely. And then also just talk about what I find fascinating is that I know you did an interview on Philadelphia to promote the film, and the lady asked you, why did you choose the people to interview? And a part of me felt like, knowing you a little bit, there's a method behind your madness, right? Let me know if I'm wrong. The reason why you chose certain individuals, because those individuals have something little of them in you, in your experience, and that's why you chose those individual to interview.
It's hard because there are also stories that weren't selected that are kind of like outside of my wherewithal, because even though I'm the director, this is a director for hire situation, a work for hire situation. So, you know, it's a little interesting when you are a director and you are hired to direct a movie. So that was interesting to navigate as my first longer form film. And yeah, I don't know. Like, I just feel like there are other voices also that I wish were in the film. And so I don't know. And I think that those voices also could have added really great things. I'm not discounting any of the voices that we have in the film presently, but I think there were just a lot of other interviews that we had. I mean, we documented over 20 interviews for almost 3 years. So to then only have 6 of them, is challenging, and you have to be decisive about what you want. But I think it's also like, you know, I'll just say that those decisions weren't fully my own, because, you know, this is, like I said, a work for hire situation. So, it's interesting. Yeah, to navigate. I don't know.
Like that. It's interesting. You don't have to go into it. I kind of
Yeah.
get it. I get it. Without saying a lot, I get it.
Yeah, it was a journey. It was certainly a journey. Yeah.
Oh, but one of the things I found interesting was the one part when you were saying that, the one person that you interview, they talk about colorism, and that kind of impacts you the most. And when I think about it, I go back to the film Coming to America, like, because you have so many isms in Coming to America. And the
Yeah.
one with colorism, when he would talk about the 2 daughters, right? You got Patricia, I think was the youngest daughter, and Lisa McDowell, the oldest, the dark skin. And so, even though it was a comedy, but it kind of put them in the box where you have the youngest sister, the dark skin, which when I was younger, I thought she was the most attractive. And I'm gonna be honest with you. But in the movie,
That's
she
how it
kind of
was.
looked at the least attractive, the one that's easy to get with, and this and that. And so, like, just talk about that aspect of that part of the interview that got you when you were talking about colorism.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think my experience is quite Vanessa's experience, but I think that there was a lot of value in putting her story in there. A lot of people feel like seen from her, like her chapter. I feel like her chapter is one of the strongest chapters in the film because a lot of people have gone through what she's gone through, whether it be bullying, colorism, featureism, texturism, not feeling good enough, self-esteem issues, not feeling worthy enough, or, you know, just constantly feeling like a misfit, constantly feeling like you're just the weirdo that's not capable or, worthy of love, worthy of acceptance. And so her chapter, I think, is like a fan favorite. And I really wanted people to feel, I think, seen. And I think they felt very much seen, unfortunately, from her. She went through tremendous odds. Like, there's certain things that are taken out of the film. Like, she was talking about suicide, and also like bringing a gun to class and wanting to unalive some folks. That was not put in the film because, again, we don't want to re-traumatize her or the audience. But I think that you learn enough about her that you learn that she's unfortunately gone through these tremendous, horrible things, you know. Um, yeah, and I always want darker skinned folks to feel beautiful. And I'm not doing a hierarchy thing, but unfortunately, darker skinned people um, get longer life sentences, sometimes are treated the worse because of, you know, our skin complexions and how the world sees us. And so I think her chapter specifically really resonates with a lot of people because a lot of people feel like unseen, unheard, unattractive, no matter how they present, no matter, like, even if they're not, you know, physically the shape or the skin texture of Vanessa, they know what it feels like to be an outsider. And so I think that is why a lot of people are always like, I love Vanessa's one. I love it. Like, yeah, I feel like that's the one that people are constantly always talking about how much they love. So, yeah.
And so, like, just talk about your experience of making this film. Like, how much was it did it take out of you? And now it's done. Now you can like reflect. Like, so where you're at right now personally, because I know that 3-year journey took a lot of from you. You, you know, some certain things, you know, I know you don't want to talk about, you know, because you know it is what it is. But
Yeah.
like where are you at, like mentally after now everything is done?
Oof. Um, it's hard because on the one hand, I'm very grateful for the considerations and the awards and a lot of the exposure that's happening. But I think sometimes for an artist, getting to this point is maddening, is crazy town. Like, um, there were many times that I didn't feel creatively safe during this process for a multitude of reasons. And, you know, that kind of makes me nervous, honestly, with making work in this system. I think, honestly, the film industry needs to be rebuilt because it cannot continue to sustain itself in the way that we're working, the way that we treat people, the way we disrespect folks. It's not okay with me. You know, the world that I live in is so representative of the world. I have nothing but Black, brown, Asian, queer, trans, Christian, Buddhist, atheist, whatever on my sets. But yet the industry still doesn't want to acknowledge true diversity, true inclusion. But that's what I've always been about. Even since film school, the film that I made, Queen, I literally had an Asian cinematographer, a producer who was queer, a producer who was straight, and those two producers are both Black women. Another producer who was from Bangladesh. Um, I had a woman who was gaffing my film who's from Ghana. I had also another gaffer who is from Spain. Like, that's the world that I live in. So I guess I say all that to say that I'm kind of just like in a reflective state and just trying to understand like where we are in terms of like as an industry and not putting my hope and faith into these systems personally. I feel like I'm going to have to create outside of the system because it hasn't quite worked for me. I've done all the things in regards to going to NYU, winning all these accolades and these awards, and many times I just kind of feel like, what is it for if I'm still disrespected, if I'm still treated badly, if I still have to fight constantly? So, um, yeah, I think I am just kind of like, I have to create my own like, I don't know if it's system, but I feel like I'm going to have to create some workaround because I've tried to do it the way that Hollywood says, and it hasn't quite worked for me fully. So that's, I'm not saying I'm giving up, but I'm just saying I feel like I just have to find different ways to create, because constantly creating in hostile environments, with people who are outright distrustful of you is stressful on anyone. I handle it because I'm a Black woman and I do the things that Black women have to do, but it's not fun, always feeling like someone is questioning you and your authority, and all you want to do is make art. All you want to do is make an amazing story. But the demons and the devils that you have to deal with and the egos, man,
Oh
I
man,
don't
I don't know. Because, and the reason why I pose that question to you is that I want to bring out the human out of you. You know, you are a human being, the humanitarian out of you, because in this industry, you're treated like a robot. Because if you don't do what they're supposed to tell you to do, they'll find somebody else. And I want people to realize you're a human being. You have feelings. You know, you have family. You hurt too, and so
yeah,
that has to take account. And because you're in this industry, people think, oh yeah, she's in this industry that, oh yeah, everything's just candy and roses, and it's not the fact. You don't
yeah,
understand what goes behind the scene. And so that's why I wanted to ask that question to you, because I want people to know the reality is, like, if you want to get into this world, these are the things that you're going to have to face, and you're going to have to make that tough decision. Like, if you want to make it into the industry, these are things that you have to figure out your own. Um, but like, what do you tell? Like I said, this is a great teaching tool for Black girls. I think this is a great teaching tool for just children at all, just how to respect people that don't look like you. So just talk about that a little bit.
yeah. I mean, I hope that people will still, especially if they want to be a filmmaker or documentarian or photographer, that they still will use their gifts and their power to like make stories. And I know people hear it all the time, but I think I saw a video about like our new filmmakers of the next generation are going to come from folks who are making films in their bedroom, making films in their homes. They're not going to necessarily just be these big wigs who are unaccessible. They're going to be the people who are going to the bodega and, chopping it up with the man who gives them the chopped cheese. So I think that there's something really beautiful about um, filmmaking being more accessible. And I hope that also Black Girls gives Black women and girls an opportunity to be brave and rest in their femininity, in their power, and their gorgeousness. That they don't always have to be hard, because this world wants us so badly to be hard and not to live in our divine feminine. And I guess as someone who is a femme presenting Black woman, I love, my nails, and I love dressing up, and I love looking good. That's me. I know that directors are usually men, but I'm saying this, that I think that it's important for no matter whatever that Black woman wants to be or that Black girl wants to be, do it to the max, do it authentically, do it truthfully, um, be you. I think a lot of people have been holding on to whatever their family or their culture or their heritage or society says that they need to be. And I'm just like, respectfully, F that. Respectfully, do what you want to do, with a K in the disrespect. But, like, do what you got to do, because we only give one life, right? In this life. And I just hate to see Black women and girls downtrodden about outside forces. I think as a race, sometimes we want to hold on to a lot of like, and this happened, and this happened, and this. And I'm saying to channel that anger, channel the things that have happened to you, put it in your work. You never know who you could be helping to heal. And so, yeah, I think art is just like a really powerful source. And that's why we need more artists, making their art and being truth tellers, because what else is there?
And it goes back to never whisper justice. I love
Okay.
that because for the longest time, Black women has been that whisper of justice. And so if you need to get the blowhorn, you need to get a mic, you need to get fucking large as speakers. I
But
think this is time right now. Hopefully people jump on and create great work for Never
yeah,
Whisper Justice, because that's as important, because as Black women, they they need a platform where they can tell their stories and feel comfortable at telling their stories without being shunned or getting massive ridicule for telling the truth. And I think this this documentary, can be like the start of something if people latch onto it. I think it's the possibility is endless. This has been a dope conversation, Queen. But before I end this, I have a question for you. My last question. If you're able to direct a biopic of a woman, Black woman, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
oh, Maya Angelou. I love her. That's my girl. I love, like, oh my God, she's in freaking incredible. And I met her once in North Carolina, and it
Okay.
was me and a group of girls, and I was just like, oh my God, this is the Maya Angelou. Oh my God, what? Like, she's everything, I just feel like sometimes when I watch her videos, she's like this ancestor, like, who's speaking down, imparting all of her wisdom into me. And I'm like, okay, yes, Mother Maya, whatever you need. Yes, 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 yes. So,
Yes.
so it would be her for me. Yeah.
Definitely. And as I'm not Astradamus, but hopefully that comes to reality and you direct that biopic. And if you were able to direct that biopic, who would you play as Maya Angelou?
Oh, wow. I mean, I love Angela Bassett. I mean, she's just incredible. Um, God, that's a really hard one, because I would really want to show. I think for me, biopics are best. Kind of like one of my favorite biopics is Ray. So I
Yes.
love showing different people who would all kind of need to like also look like her, but also have like that
That voice.
voice, like that. Oh my God. Which is why for me, I'd be also open to like new talent. I think this world isn't ready for new talent, or isn't showing, really breakout roles. It's almost like we have the same 10, 20 actors recycle. And I think in this weird way, we're living in a time where the old and the new is
Mhm.
like bumping heads. And so
Right.
it's like some of the people who have been in the industry for so long are now rubbing against new blood. And as much as people say they want new blood, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, because in the 90s, you saw a lot of musicians of that time, you know, making breakout roles. And I think that's something I would love to do, like bring people of today's world who, we've seen like a Tyla, or we've seen a Coco Jones, like being amazing in the singing world. But what would it be like for them to like act in a movie where they're the breakout role. You know what I mean? Like that would be so fun. So yeah.
And hopefully you can lead that way. And before we end this amazing conversation, why should people see this documentary?
Because it's dope. And I mean, and it was directed by me. And like, who doesn't want to support a Black woman or girl? Come on. Especially in today's whatever we're living in. Like, help a girl out. Okay. Watch the movie or we gonna fight or you gonna get these hands. No, but I think it would be great for you to watch it. I think it tells the story of 6 unique Black women who have gone through completely different things, who present differently, and what they go through is maybe not ordinary to some people, but the way that they come out on the other side, I think is worth anyone seeing. I think it's worth your mama, your auntie, them, like somebody in Dubai, like everybody needs to see this film. And I think hopefully it can be an educational tool as well, to show that Black women are not the same. As much as people may think that, we are not, and our stories deserve to be told. And I will continue to do that.
Fact. And if you're a dad with a Black daughter or a mixed daughter, go see this movie. If you need to rent out the theater or whatever and have a daddy-daughter date to the film to see Black girls, do it.
Yes.
I'm not saying please. I'm just saying just do it.
That would make this Black woman really happy. Hopefully it would make a lot of Black girls and Black women feel seen and heard. I feel like we are the mothers of the earth, and yet we are still marginalized in so many ways. We're not paid what we're worth. We are not respected the way that we need to be respected. Sometimes we go through DV situations. Sometimes we're unmarried, all the things, right? This film is also debunking some of those things and showing the opposite, someone has said, like, the film shows a depiction of 6 whole Black women, meaning women that you may look out in the street and you may judge them. You may think this or that about them. But by the time you see the film, it's like, oh, whoa, I misjudged them. I misjudged Black women. I misjudged their experiences. And I think there's something to that,
Facts. And how can people watch the film?
You can watch it on Peacock. You can also watch it on Xifinity. If you just put into your remote, if you have a smart TV, Black Girls, and it'll pop up on Xifinity. And then also on Xumo, Xumo, Flex One. And I think that's it.
Good. Please don't have it on Tubi. Please don't have it on Tubi. Please don't have it on Tubi.
It's not on Tubi.
Please have it on Tubi. I'm just begging.
It's not on Tubi. You need to lead to look, Tubi's about to be the next Netflix, I think. So, maybe we should. But again, that is not my job. I don't do those things, but leave Tubi alone. Tubi might be the next thing.
Let me put a disclaimer. This segment part about Tubi was not supported by B.Monet. I'm just gonna put it out there right now. B.Monet.
I'm okay with it though. That means people gonna watch it. If it's on TV, people will watch it for better or worse. So I'm
just trying to help a sister out. Because you know how in this era, like, people like the clickbait stuff.
Oh yeah, I know. It'd be like, she said it's on Tubi. Ooh, let me check it out. What type of black girls are in here? Black girl. Ooh, I want to see a black girl. Ooh. Okay. What does that all mean?
Yo, this has been a dope conversation, B. Thank you so much for coming on. You're always welcome to come on. Oh my God, I love when we get together, man, because it feel like it just feel like we talk all the time. That's how dope this how dope it is. How can people find you? How can people find you?
People can- Oh my God.
Breathe.
Yeah, I'm like,
I'm the director now. Breathe. Now go.
okay, you can find me on the interweb, or in IRL, in real life too. I like in real life. That is always my preference. But if you must find me on the interwebs, my Twitter or my X is B.Monet Worldwide. Same thing for TikTok, or I like to call it TokTik. I'm a little country. And then on Instagram, I'm direct, and then her, the pronoun, and then B.Monet. And I be on LinkedIn too, B.Monet. Check me out there. My website is B and then -monet.com. And I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I was like, yeah. I mean, Facebook too. I mean, Facebook is B.Monet. I have a page on there. I'm like, if people want to follow it there. I'm not as active on that one. I'm trying to get better with Facebook.
That's why you need an assistant. Your assistant does that.
Well, I just feel like people don't. I don't know. People do use Facebook still, but I don't know. Maybe I don't use it that much as much.
Like your mama do. Your grandma and your mama do.
Yeah, definitely. All up on Facebook, like.
Yeah.
Did you see so and so's cousin? No, Mom, I did not. I'm sorry. What did? Yeah, tell me what you saw.
Like 20 years, but they still your cousin. Like, okay.
Thanks for letting me know. I guess. Right? Are we really? Because I don't know.
Don't fuck with them like that. So like, okay.
Yeah, they didn't age that well. Are you sure that's my cousin? No, I'm just.
Yo, this has been a dope conversation. Like, subscribe. All the links will be in the description below. B, thank you so much for coming on. This is a home. This will always be a home for you when you want to just come on and just shoot the shit, or just whatever you got coming on new. This is a place for you where you can be vulnerable, not to be judged, and just to be loved. And that's what it's all about.
Thank you. That's what it should be. And I appreciate you for holding space with me and being in community with me. So thank you.
Oh, it's all love. All right. This is another great episode, and we're out. Peace. All right. Stay on. Let me